Yo, 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 what up, doe? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are listening to Yeah, I Said It, because y'all already know before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, and I know you heard me the first time. Listen, it's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are tuning in to Yeah, I Said It, because y'all already know. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, okay? It is Thankful Thursdays, as I say each and every week. We have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's jail. We ain't in nobody's hospital. Listen, okay? Because at the end of the day, listen, when God give you the opportunity to have breath in your body, you better take it. Don't be around here complaining. Okay? What up, though, guys? What up, though? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. You're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, if you're tuning in, I am your host, Zsa Zsa C. Hubbard. Listen, you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Don't be acting funny and don't be acting fake and brand new, because y'all know how y'all be doing. But it's all good in the hood. If you are tuning in, I'm talking all about when the past won't let you go. When the past won't let you go. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. When the past won't let you go. How many of you have ever dealt with a situation where you are looking to move forward? It's a new year. You looking good, you feeling good, and then all of a sudden, here comes some foolishness coming up out the way. And so, this is a new year. And, as much as we've been through, we always want to get, a positive mindset, right? And listen, I'm one of the most optimistic people you have ever meet. Energetic, lively, turned all the way up at any given time. But I also had to realize that we go through things that weigh us down, and then we escape from those things. And how is it that we escape it and it's still hovering over us like a plague? Growing up and dealing with some of the challenges that I grew up dealing with my mom, dealing with domestic violence. And I said, I couldn't understand for the life of me, how it was that my mom was still affected by my father, even though he was locked up in prison. But what you all don't realize is that even though there's a past behind us, sometimes that past can creep up on us and creep back up on us because we're in a peaceful place. We're in a place of success, or we got something going and we on our journey, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. All of a sudden here come somebody creeping back up that you didn't cut ties with, or here it is, you thinking, okay, we just brought in a new presidente, number 46, because number 45 got to go. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I've learned, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, we're talking all about when the past won't let you go, when the past won't let you live. One of the things that I've learned is that people will trade their integrity for greed. And it may not always be greed for money. It can be greed for a multitude of things. See, sometimes there are people that will come across that will seem as if they have our best interests at heart, when all it is that they're putting themselves in a position where they can take whatever it is that they want, get whatever it is that they want. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive for greatness or strive for or great things, but you have to be mindful that there will be people that will connect themselves to you from your past and creep back up as you're maneuvering through life. And I want to be very clear, because people will trade in their integrity for greed, they will also trade on their own people. Case in point, number 45 had a whole squad when he started off. Am I right? I mean, from people that he had on Celebrity Apprentice, artists that we love. He had people who we look or deem as community leaders or influential in the world that we live in. He had a whole entourage. Everybody loved him. Everybody knew his money. And I'm going to tell you something. When you matriculate to a level of power and a level of success, and you get access to certain people and access to certain things, some people don't want to mess those relationships up. Some people they don't want to tear down those relationships, so they're going to go with the flow. See, some people will turn a blind eye to injustices and wrongdoings because their pockets is being fed. They getting a hookup on the side. See, a lot of people will turn a blind eye, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Tell me, because I want to know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add more to it. Y'all already know what it is. Listen, we're talking all about when the past won't let you go, when the past won't let you live. Because when God has an anointing on your life, and regardless if you go to church, if you don't, let me tell you something about God. God is not just being held and captive in church. You can get the blessings from God right in your living room, right here on the phone, right here watching me. You can get your breakthrough. You don't always need to be in a building to do so. One of the things that I love about a lot of the ministries that are taking their words to virtual, because this is the world that we're getting ready to go into. This is the transformation. See, when the internet came, okay, it was our escape from the world. And now we have to literally do things to escape from the internet. I've never known that this wasn't meant for people to look at other people's lives and feel bad about their own. It wasn't meant to catch people up or catfish or, do all of the things that it does. But guess what? Because we have it, we have to learn how to utilize it for our good. See, one of the things that I've come to know and learn is that people also take advantage of bad opportunities or bad situations. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you how to deal with your past in order for you to move in your present. Because when people see you down and out, or they see you in a bad situation or a tight situation, there are people that will prey on you. Not pray, but Prey, okay? Not Pray, okay? I ain't talking about pray like Jesus, touch him. No, I'm talking about pray like, ooh, look at them. They need help. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they gon', oh, yeah, she a single mom. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get her. Y'all ever got y'all cars fixed and you already know off rip, you feeling some type of way about the price they just gave you? It's like, no, you trying to play me. Have you ever been in a situation where it's like, do I gotta go get the supervisor? Because I feel like you're trying to take advantage of an opportunity. See, this is why in this season, we gonna have to stay prayed up. Excuse me, not just because I want y'all to be all, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for you, for your own personal sanity, for your own family, for your children. I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about what you need specifically for you. I'm going to tell you something. No matter how much I have accolades or success or accomplishments, or God allows me to do great things or have favor, the enemy does not want me to get to a certain place, just like the enemy don't want you to get to a certain place. Because if you get to a certain place where you are successful, you have the ability to change the trajectory of other people's lives. See, it's like, wouldn't you think the FDA, people in agriculture will be pushing more vegetables and will be pushing, more natural and holistic things? You would think that one would be pushing a certain agenda that would help the body and the people while we're in this health crisis. No, they're pushing a vaccine, something that was made, something that was created by man. And I'm going to tell y'all something in this season. I love everybody, but I'm not putting my trust in man. Okay. Listen, I'm putting all my poker chips on Jesus, on God. Okay. Let me tell you something. I've had a lot of hands, and I'm a good card player, baby. Let me tell you something. I just got even better at poker. Okay. And I got a good poker face. Okay. And if y'all know anything about spades, poker, go fish, I declare war, tunk, look, in any of those card games, you know that you're going to have to work the hand that you were dealt. See, a lot of us, we get upset because, and don't get me wrong, I was upset too growing up. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add more to it. There are things that we want in life, and unfortunately, because of the economic disparities and the disadvantages that have been placed in our communities, unfortunately, we don't want the card, the hand that we're dealt. We don't want these cards. See, it's easy when in a game of spades. You know, when you're playing teams, you sit at the table and you got your teammate across from you and you got your opponents, and everybody got their cards. And then when everybody looking at their cards and everybody like, nah, man, this hand ain't hitting. Everybody can make a decision and say, I'm gonna throw this hand in. We throw it in, and then we get somebody and they deal those cards over. But that's not how it is in real life. In real life, you don't get a new deal of hands, a new deal of cards. I'm sorry. You get the cards that you're dealt. Now, any card player or anybody who's ever been in a situation that was hard, you knew that you had to work with what you have. One of my biggest mottos that I tell people that I mentor, that I, when I go and I speak at different places, I always tell people, do what you can with what you have until you can do more than what you had. See, a lot of us get upset because it's like, oh, I don't have enough this, and I don't got enough that, and oh, I need some more money, and oh, I need this. And I used to be that way too. Never feeling like I got enough. It's like, I need this, I need that. But then I had to learn, okay, in order for me to get past my past, I have to get to a point where I know God is doing certain things for a reason. See, sometimes we get upset when certain situations happen because we don't see the picture outside of what we see in front of us. See, our eyesight only allows us to see what's in front of us. Our peripheral vision only allows us to see so far. And I love God so much because he sees further in front right now and all of what happened back then. So there's a resting place. There's a security that I feel. And I ain't trying to be deep. Y'all already know. Okay, y'all ain't got a heaven and hell to put me in. And I'm a sinner, saved by grace, trying to be a saint every single day. Okay, I struggle. I have trauma, problems I'm trying to get over, get past. I'm trying to get healed from past hurts so that I don't mess up my future. Because if you don't heal from past hurts, what you'll run into is history repeating itself, relationships repeating itself, things that you thought you were over end up repeating itself. That's one of the reasons why I had to get to a point where I can't allow my past to dictate my future. I can't allow people to hold me hostage. Because see, I'm going to tell you something. When the past won't let you go, it will show up like herpes. Have you ever seen somebody with herpes that had a little thing on their lip? It could be up at time, coming, going. It's like show up at the most inappropriate time. And the crazy thing about it is, whether it's a cold sore or herpes or whatever the case may be, they try to cover it up or ignore it or act like it ain't there. No, it's there. And this is the thing with where we're going, because I've been in prayer mode and just thinking about all the stuff that's been going on. And I just been talking to God and asking God, okay, what's going on here? What do I need to be prepared for? What do I need to be focused on? Because we all chasing a bag, and we all trying to get, successful and do all these great things. But when I was praying, God was saying, prepare, start preparing, start getting your stuff in order. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to get the bag, travel, do you live your life like it's gold and YOLO, you only live once, all that great things, all those things. But I'm going to tell you something. When that situation happened at the Capitol, what that told me was that there were conversations that have been happening before this took place. And so to know that they were able to plan a nationwide protest and invasion of a national, supposed to be secured building, when there were people who are supposed to protect it, actually helped with the invasion. So what that tells me is that there are people in leadership that are going to help with our demise. What that tells me is that there are people in leadership that don't have our best interests at heart, but they walk around with badges of honors. They walk around with suits and they have pearls around their necks. You all be careful. Listen, one of the reasons why I want to be in media is because media has a propensity to change how we look and how our day is governed. Have you ever looked at the news and the news says, oh, it's going to pour down rain in the day. Oh, it's going to be a thunderstorm. It's going to be lightning. It's going to be this. And you say, oh, man, I got to get my rain boots, my umbrella, my jacket. Okay, it's going to rain. You playing for your kids. You get their stuff together. It's going to rain. And then it don't rain. Sun come out. And then you sitting there and you say, man, they said it was going to rain today. It ain't even rain. And so now here it is. You are preparing yourself for what's to come. See, in order for you to get away from your past, you're going to have to learn, what am I living for? See, number 45 knew what he was coming to do. He was coming to hook his people up. He was coming to hook up himself. Okay? Make no mistakes about it. None whatsoever. Same here within our city leadership, right here in the city of Detroit and in your local communities. There are people that are in office. They took these oaths. They took these positions, and they only took these positions to hook themselves up and to hook up their friends and to hook up the people that were connected to them. Now, this is where things get a little tricky, and they don't have to be too tricky, because at the end of the day, we are all grown. We know right from wrong. We know when somebody has done us right, and we know when somebody has done us wrong. We are not oblivious to what is going on in our world. You know when somebody makes you feel small. You know when somebody makes you feel insignificant. You know when somebody is edging you on a fight. I remember back in the day in the bathroom where most of the fights happened, we would put a little piece of tissue on our shoulder like this. And then they'll say, if you bad, knock it off our shoulder. See, this is what y'all don't realize. There are people out there, they the pushers. It's one thing for us to talk about a good game. It's one thing for us to say, hey, come over here to the home of the brave and the land of the free. Your dreams are going to come true. You're going to have a beautiful house, white picket fence, 2.5 kids, a dog. Whose dream is that? Whose way is that? Because a lot of people that look like me, they don't have a white picket fence. They don't have the 2.5 kids. They don't have the little dog. Some of the people that I know, they having difficulties and challenges, and they are dressing themselves up to make it seem like they're okay. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. Okay? And I know you heard me the first time. If you're tuning in, we're talking all about when the past won't let you go. Because here it is, we are in a new year. We're getting ready to have a new chief executive officer of the United States of America. But I'm here to tell you all, when the past won't let you go, and it's prevalent, because it doesn't even matter that we're getting a new presidente, because everybody's focus is still going to be on the old. See, yeah, they may have cut him off on social media platforms, but what they can't cut is him out of history. See, what you all fail to realize is, although he may no longer be our presidente after the 20 whatever, they're still going to take him to court. They're still going to be bringing up relationships, stuff he's intertwined in. Media is still going to be following him around. So while we're thinking, we're getting ready, the heavens have opened and they have blessed us with a new presidente, and now we got this beautiful black goddess as a vice president. Let me tell you something. I've been in politics since I was 14 years old, baby. And I know when a strategy is being played. Now, don't get me wrong, before y'all be trying to shoot me up and nail me to the cross. I love me some Kamala. Okay? Kamala, love her. I'm so proud to be a Black African American queen, knowing that a sister is VP. But I also know when things are strategic. See, when you have a historical election like this one, and you also have a historical election like the one with Trump and Hillary Clinton, when she could have been or was supposed to be the first woman president. See, this is where games get played and it gets real gray. Yeah, it may look like black and white. Okay, out with the old, in with the new. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about when the past won't let you go. Because, see, it's going to be hard for us to pay attention to what the new cabinet is doing if all the attention is focused on the old cabinet. See, we're going to have to keep our foot to their necks like they keep their foots to ours. See, we can't keep letting up, oh, they gave out book bags. Yay. Nah, that ain't enough. Because we got real people out here with real problems. And I can't solve no problems with no book bag. Yeah, you gave my child some school supplies. Thank you. But they ain't got school. Give out some desks. Who gonna give out some school desks to some of these kids who got to do their homework at the kitchen table while their mama trying to cook? See, this is when a difference is really made, when we are doing things and applying for things that people really need. People need home repairs. They need help being first-time home buyers. Let's put some more money into helping some of these single parents solidify and get stable and create some families. See, you get sustainable cities when families can strive and survive. People leave places where they don't believe that they can strive and survive. That's why people hooked up with number 45. That's why people hook up with you, because they feel like they'll get the hookup. See, when the past won't let you go, it'll creep up because they know what they're connected to. You know, I knew that in order for me to have a better relationship with men, I had to forgive my father. I knew that if I was going to have a better relationship with men, I was going to have to forgive my uncles. I knew that if I was going to have an amazing relationship with my husband or my future husband or my son, I was going to have to forgive the men who hurt me in my life. If I was going to protect my son and give him the best of me, I was going to have to not look at him in his eyes, and every time I saw him, see his father. I had to look at the situation for what it was. And I had to go deep down inside, because sometimes it ain't the people bringing up your past. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you won't let the past go. Sometimes you won't let stuff go. Sometimes it's you that keep hurting yourself. I had a conversation with my son and my sister the other day, and I said, you gonna have to show up for you 100% every time. You don't have time to slack off. And when you do decide I need a break, take that break. But see, don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. And I'm done dreaming. My whole room and my whole house is full of visions, ideas. No, it's implementation. It's strategy. Because see, when you have implementation and strategy, the past can't hold you hostage because you moving towards something. But see, when you ain't moving towards something, people will say things like, oh, she ain't doing nothing but just trying to lose weight. She ain't gonna do nothing but just gain it right back like she did the last time. See, that's the past trying to hold you hostage. They trying to hold you hostage. And see, the thing about it is that you got to understand that there are movers and players in this game. And life is really what you make it. And it's this game called chess where there are players in this game. And depending on what type of player you are, you could be the pawn, the ones in the chess game, they're right in front. Them the ones that you can sacrifice. See, I'm the queen on the chessboard, okay? And on those chess pieces, your goal is to protect the queen. Your whole goal is checkmate. I want to be able to knock you out the game. And at the end of the day, this is how people are looking at life. They're looking like, oh, this ain't checkers, this chess. I got to take you out the game. See, this is one of the reasons why the Black Lives Matter movement and helping out the brown and the black community and putting us in position is important. Because while we are fighting over the little things, there is a strategy that's happening. While we were trying to figure out all of these little things, there are plans that are happening around us that we aren't even preparing ourselves for. If you're listening and tuning in, you're listening to Y'all Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about when the past won't let you go. Because sometimes it's you that won't forgive you. See, I had to learn that my blackness is non-negotiable. I had to apologize when I didn't treat my sister or my brother so well like I should have. We should hold each other up with a higher regard than what we do. You know, this is one of the reasons why I can walk with integrity and hold my head up high, because I know that I deal with people according to how they deal with me. And I don't give people what they deserve based on how they dealt with me. See, a lot of us could be petty. A lot of us could take vengeance into our own hands, and some of us have. And sometimes at that particular time, depending on how your emotions are feeling, you do take your vengeance into your own hands. But one of the things that I've learned is when it comes to my relationship with God, He's going to take care of everything I need, including the people who hurt me, including the people who help me, including the people who support me, including the people who don't, because we're talking about God, the God who sees forward, who sees present, and who sees past. So if He's seeing all of these things, He knows who's going to hurt me in the future, right? Who don't mean me no good. He knows who's coming from my past, who maybe we didn't end so well, but it wasn't really nobody's fault. It was just kind of one of those things that just kind of happened. He knows who's going to try to take you off your square. He knows who's going to come in and lift you up. He knows who really has a sincere prayer for you and who really is sincerely praying on you and taking advantage of the opportunities. See, this is the guy that I serve. And see, if we're going to have a successful year, and if we're going to have a blessed 2021, there are a few things that you're going to have to come into realization. First thing, COVID ain't about to just magically disappear. So if you're looking for them to open up the world and open up the clubs and open up every single thing the way that life was prior to COVID, you got another thing coming. I apologize for your feelings being hurt right now. But what you fail to understand is that if you pay attention to history, and this is why history class was so important for those of you who skipped out on it, I ain't talking bad about you. Okay? I ain't talking bad about you. I ain't dogging you out. But what I will say is that for those of you who skipped out on history, this is one of the things that's happening. So, COVID ain't about to just up and disappear. When the Great Recession came in the 1930s, the Great Recession lasted for literally almost, over 3 years? 3 years? So here we are. COVID came out in 2019. Started in 2019. They had already prepared for this virus in the government. They already had this going on while we were out living our life, turned up, doing our thing. There were people in leadership and in place that knew what was about to happen. And while I was praying, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to Y'all Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about when the past won't let you go. Because see, the reason why history repeats itself is because we stop doing things differently. Diseases that have plagued our world and our communities, especially the Black and brown community, it has a lot to do with what we do and what we eat. So who owns the food? Who owns the cattle? Who owns the chicken that we fry and bake? Who owns the salmon that we cook that's coming from Japan and Tokyo? I was looking at the shrimp the other day, and the shrimp said Indonesia. Indonesia got shrimp? Then it made me think about, okay, so if we don't own no food and we don't own nothing that we need, how we gonna help ourselves if we were attacked? Because see, again, history repeats itself. See, during the Great Depression and during the war and all of these things where these people are recovering, sickness plagued the nation. And they came out with American Cancer Society because they plagued the community with the cancer. See, this is why praying for leadership and praying for people that are in the government and praying for people who walk around with the suits and the pearls and the people that we vote in, this is why it's so important that we pay attention to what's going on. Because if we don't pay attention to what's going on, we allow the media to feed us anything. And then here we are, we around here spreading rumors and lies that didn't have no truth connected to them. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I already know, because y'all know I said it the first time. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa, because you do. Don't be acting fake and brand new. We got enough people acting fake and brand new. We need some real, authentic people out here. And see, one of the things that I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to put my system in place so that I could teach that as a master class. Because so many people are suffering trying to find and identify where they fit into this world. And then they get hoodwinked and bamboozled. And now it's like, dang, I didn't know this was going to happen. Because see, because I have my faith in God, I become okay when plans change. See, if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it, and I'm talking about when the past won't let you go. See, plans change daily. You get up, you planned your day out the night before, and all of a sudden, you got a flat tire. You didn't have that in your plan, so now you got to get the tire changed, or you get the baby together. All the kids is dressed. Then the baby end up pooping. Now you got to change the baby diaper. Now you got to change the baby outfit because the poop then ran all up the baby back. Or an unexpected bill comes. Or a loved one passes away. And now your whole thought process and emotion has changed when you were supposed to be happy for the next few fleeting moments in the next few weeks. But now you're sad because of an unexpected situation. In order for you to be able to enjoy 2021, you are going to have to be prepared when unexpected changes happen. See, one of the things about life that I've learned is not just about pivoting. It's not just about shifting. It's not just about putting yourself in a position, but it's about adapting to the changes as they come. See, as a little kid, as a little girl, you walk around and, you playing with Barbie dolls. And then all of a sudden you start getting these they say they little insect bites. You got little bee bites. And then you get a little older and then your mama say, okay, we're going to have to get you a training bra. And then little by little, okay, now you start growing and expanding. And now we got to get you a real bra. Just like when a little boy, he starts playing with his cars and he's playing around and he's having him a good old time just with his little imagination until he gets older and now he wants to drive. See, plans change. And if you're going to be successful in not only in 2021, but in times to come, you are going to have to learn to become adaptive to change. Even when that means there are things that you got to change about yourself. There were some adjustments that I had to make. Sometimes I shock myself. I'd be like, oh, girl, where'd that come from? And I'd be like, I changed. This is something, it's some things that I'm getting ready to start working on. Where people are going to say, oh, what you got going on? You changed. You changed. And something my bishop said yesterday during Bible study. Shout out to Bishop J. Drew Sheard and my Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God family. My bishop said, People say they change all the time, but what have you done, or what are the indications that you have changed, that you have evolved? Because see, it's like a man or a woman. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about when the past won't let you go. It's like when a man or a woman, you break up with them and you be done with them because they ain't no good. And then they come back and they say, I changed. I changed. They come back with flowers or come back with a smile, Coke and a smile. And they say, I changed, baby. I want you back. Listen, I changed. I want to do better by you. I'm going to do right. I know y'all done heard that. You're your kid. You whoop your kid. And you done told your kid, I told you, boy. Whoop. And, Mom, I changed. I ain't going to do it no more. I promise, Mama. And then they go right back to their repetitive behaviors. See, this is one of the reasons why you have to be so in tune and so focused on you and God that you don't have time to be looking at what nobody else is doing to the left or to the right of you. Unless you're getting motivated, they're investing in what you're building. If you're being strengthened by what they're displaying or imparting into your life. See, I had to learn that in order for me to move forward to my future, I can't dabble and hang out with my past. See, there are people that will attach themselves to you that were once connected to you that you don't need to be connected to. I'm gonna tell you, I hung out with this young lady, and I thought she was, pretty dope. I thought, she was pretty cool, no harm, no foul. And we hung out, and she was telling me, I looked up to you when we were in school, and you used to do this and you used to do that, and I always admired you, and I wanted to hook up with you. And so she reached out to me about my nonprofit, the Kelly's Kids Foundation. And I'm like, yeah, let's whoop, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And see, for me, when I get my mind set on a thing, I follow through with that thing to the end. There are people that are going to want to connect with you because you're a mover and you're a shaker and you got stuff going on and you doing stuff and they see you out here. And you have to be careful not to just be so easily connected because an opportunity has presented themselves to you. See, sometimes people will see you moving and they'll connect themselves to you when they have their own personal agenda. See, when I talk to people about connecting with me and things that I want to do, it serves a duality, meaning it ain't just for me. I don't just win in the end. It's a win-win. And see, when you start connecting with people, you want to connect with people where you get a win-win. It got to be a 50-50 split up in here. Because see, I've been in situations where a person will come to me with an idea, say they want me to help them, and then it ends up being my project. No, honey. We're not doing that. Because this is a season where dreams are turning into visions, which are turning into reality. And see, I talk about every Monday about manifesting. And manifestation is a very, 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 very real thing. I manifested my ex-husband. I promise you I did. See, I was in a relationship with a young man that I really, really loved, y'all. I loved him, okay? I thought he was so awesome. I loved his parents. He ain't had no kids. He ain't had no drama. But he wasn't ready to grow up. And I was listening to my pastor, Bishop, talk about how he can't be fornicating and shacking up. And, we was getting it in. So I'm like, I don't want to go to hell or whatever. If it, if it's a real hell, if it's a real heaven, I don't want to go. So he wasn't ready like I was ready. So I talked to God. I prayed. I told God what I wanted. I made a list. But see, I left out a few things that are very, 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 very important. And see, when you are being held down by your past, people won't allow you to grow into your future because they don't allow you to grow up into the person that you are meant to be. See, one of the things that I learned is when the past won't let you go, you have to gonna learn to let it go yourself. See, COVID-19 ain't going nowhere. And at the end of the day, during the Great Recession, those people were dealing with everything that we are dealing with right now. Unemployment, sickness, disease, famine, families falling apart, men walking away, women losing their mind. All types of things were happening. In this season, you are going to have to, prepare you and your family Okay, not just on the health tip, not just on the financial tip. I'm talking about really prepare your family, like literally, like deep freezer. And I'm not trying to scare nobody, and I'm not trying to get all in your head, but you don't know what's to come. And if we're paying attention to past behaviors, okay, talking about past behaviors, and every single new president, there was always some sugar, honey, iced tea in the game. You don't believe me? I want you to really sit and think. Every president, there was something. Big Bush, what we have, Al Qaeda, Afghanistan, Little Bush, 9/11, Twin Towers, Pentagon, Barack Obama. Now, all of these swine flu, all of these different. Listen, there is a strategy and a pattern that happens here. And if we're not careful, we won't be paying attention to the patterns. It's like when we move into this new season and what we're going to be dealing with, we need to be as prayed up as possible and put in position as possible, because there are conversations that your income doesn't allow you to be in the room for. Your income doesn't allow you to be in certain rooms, so you're not a part of certain conversations. And yes, although they impeached Trump for the second time, again, your income doesn't allow you to be in certain conversations. So you don't know what's going to happen until it hits the fan. That's why being prayed up, having a plan for not only you and your family is important, but following through on those plans, because anything can change. You can see how they were able to shut down things that we need. And if they were to close up some grocery stores, shut down gas stations in your area, in your community, how you going to survive? If something were to happen and people get bold enough and desperate enough and have the audacity enough to do what they did at the Capitol, you don't think that people are bold enough and have the audacity to do something in a community near you? See, all it takes is a try, an example. And if they saw that, oh, we can do it there, same way they was trying to kidnap our governor at the Capitol building here in Michigan, in Lansing, and you don't think that these people are putting things in place right now, putting things in perspective right now, just like they're preparing, you better start preparing. Because I find it ironic that we have an African-American VP, but yet the cabinet hasn't met with the Black Lives Matter movement. I find it ironic that all of a sudden we're putting all this money and effort into diversion and diversity and inclusion. Now, don't get me wrong. I need y'all to take advantage of all of these opportunities, because they will not come back. Okay, there's not only a shift that's happening, but there's a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a diversion going on. Okay, because see, sometimes when a person is trying to distract you, they'll put things in your way. When you're trying to distract a baby, you give the baby what they want. Oh, look, baby, look at the little toy. Look at the little, because you're trying to get something done. See, usually there's something happening in front of us, but there's a whole nother diversion or situation that's happening on the back end, right? See, it's like TV show. I have a new TV show. It's called Uncommon Conversations. It came out last Friday. Make sure you tune in to the previous episode. Markeisha Devine, one of Detroit's premier artists. And then this week's episode is with Eric Patrick Thomas, a Flint native who is a paraplegic. He talks about how a tragic night just changed the whole trajectory of his life. And again, what you all don't understand is that there are conversations that are happening that we aren't privy to. So when we get our feelings hurt because we weren't prepared for this particular thing, this is why I tell my son all the time, y'all, I am praying listen, I am in such a space right now that I'm not persuaded by what nobody do, because I know how I'm dealing with people and I know how God is going to deal with me because of how I deal with people. See, my son is getting ready to graduate from Cass Technical High School, one of the premier and top high schools in the state of Michigan. And I also know that even though he's graduated from the school, he's also still a Black man. There are children that are graduating from Harvard Law School, Yale, but regardless of wherever they're graduating or matriculating from in their educational field, they will still be looked at as Black. When my son gets his diploma and he walks across that stage and he throws his cap and gown and throws it in the air, he's getting ready to walk into not the world that I want him to live in. He's getting ready to walk into the world that we live in. And we have to prepare our children that, oh yeah, Porky Pig and Dora the Explorer and playing on these video games is all fine and dandy, but do your child know their address? Does your child know their phone number? We have our children at our leisure right now at home. Are you spending time with your child, or are you spending more time with your Xbox? Are you spending more time with teaching your child how to survive, or are you more focused on yelling at your child? Sit down, shut up, don't say that, do this, do that, do this. Yesterday, me and my son, we had such a big major argument and fight, and then turned around and the enemy came in like a flood and tried to come in between me and my sister, and I had to sit, and I sat down and I said, we're going to have a family meeting. My cousin came in. Because see, the enemy, when he knows that you're on a path for greatness, he will come in and try to have your past come and destroy you. He'll bring up stuff that you thought that you were over, only for you to let that stuff marinate. Now you mad all over again. See, I almost let a certain person take me out of my comfort zone and out of my square, but I said, you know what? No, I'm going to let God take care of them. Because the God I serve, he never misses a case. See, he don't play about me. And no matter how a person feels about me or how a person feels about you, when you have a real, genuine relationship with the Creator, the Almighty, the person who put us on here, who told us that we were going to do greater things. God told me I could do greater things than what he's already done. So what that tells me is that I'm not really living up to my fullest potential. Because if I'm supposed to do greater works, then I can't get hooked up with people who ain't doing what they supposed to do. See, when I got hooked up with that young lady who popped into my life and wanted to help my foundation and wanted to do this, and then I started hanging out with her and we started going places, and see, I can't get hooked up with my past, because if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about when the past won't let you go. Because see, then we started hanging out at the bar. I ain't hanging out. What I look like being hanging out at the bar. Now, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to none of you people who hang out at the bar. Got your little favorite bar. With a bartender, everybody knows your name. I don't want the bartender to know my name unless you know my name from TV, not from sitting up here getting drunk every day. And so here it is. I find myself connecting, trying to get to my future. But here it is. I done let somebody from my past take me off my square. And this person is hanging out here and turned up with this person. I don't want to be affiliated or associated with that as my brand. Because people will warn you. They'll say, hey, watch out. Hey, that one right there. Some things you may believe, some things you don't. Because see, if somebody tell you, hey, Zsa Zsa, she crazy, yo, you might want to be careful with her. They right. You might want to. You might want to be careful. Because I don't play about me. And there was a time where I played about me and I allowed things from my past to hinder and stop me from my future. Okay? It didn't go well the way I wanted it to go, but that don't mean that you're a failure. Okay? the relationship didn't end the way you wanted it to. That don't mean that God doesn't want to bless you with a mate that's going to love you with all your heart and soul. No, you didn't treat your body as well as you should. And yeah, you ate too many hamburgers. And yeah, you overdosed on Dominoes. However, if God is putting air and breath in your body, you have the opportunity to fix those problems. See, when the enemy can't attack you personally, he'll attack the things that's closest to you to inadvertently attack you. See, I'm such on a tunnel vision where I'm so focused that an outside person, they don't have a chance. And the enemy knows that. And so because he knows that an outside person doesn't have a chance because of what I went through last year with people that I cared about and loved, and to see what they did and to see how people operate and to see people that I wasn't really talking to a lot, but how much they loved me and held me down. So what that taught me is that you are going to have to learn to have to be you at all times. Yeah, they may not be consistent. Yeah, they may be up and down and wishy-washy, but don't you be wishy-washy. Yeah, they fake. Yeah, they flippy floppy. No, they ain't giving a 100% off. But you give your 100% off. See, when you learn, okay, I can't be connected to everybody, and you also learn there's a reason why God is cutting the scissors, because sometimes we won't let go. We won't let go of the past. My son and I had a conference call last week. And man, when I tell you, when you've been delivered from your past and people can't hold you hostage from things and things you used to do and things you used to say and people you used to hang out with, when people can no longer hold you hostage, there's an overwhelming freedom and newness that comes over you that's foreign. My son and I had a conference with one of his teachers, and I had invited his father to have the meeting. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It. We're talking about when the past won't let you go. And I invited his father on this conference call. And I could have just kept it moving, okay, and had my conference call the way I've been doing for these last 17 years, okay? Yeah, I said it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to call him, and I'm going to tell him, hey, we're having a parent meeting. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, parents out there. I don't care about how you feel about your children's mother, your father, or whatever the case may be. There's a presence that children need. And if your child or your children don't have a relationship with you, it's only because you didn't create one. Okay? My son and I are very close. And the only reason why we're very close is because I am intentional about having a relationship with my child. So I extended the olive branch to his father, and I said, hey, we're having this meeting. I want you to be a part of it. And if you're tuning in, I'm talking about when the past won't let you go. See, in times past, that wouldn't have been me. I wasn't doing none of that. Okay? If you want to know what's going on with your child, you need to figure it out yourself. But then I had to think about it. I said, you know what? That's not the space I'm in. The space I'm in is getting this young man to the finish line and on a new journey that he can do a marathon and it ain't a sprint. So he can have a pace. So I have to do things differently. See, sometimes you have to rise above your petty. Okay? Michelle Obama said something, when they go low, you rise high. Sometimes you just got to rise above the petty. Don't mean that you can't. Okay? And it don't mean that you still ain't. It just means, you know what, right now, I got a goal that I'm trying to reach, and let me get me out the way and focus on what's at stake. And it was so odd that we were echoing the same thing to our son. And my son, he was even estranged and odd looking, because he was just kind of like, wow, this is weird. This is new. But because we didn't allow the past to dictate the relationship that we're trying to have with our child, it's all about your intentions. Because when you're a parent, or you're in leadership, or you've been delegated authority to handle a certain thing, sometimes you wonder, am I going to mess it up? Am I going to do right by it? because sometimes in the past you didn't handle certain things the way you should have handled it. And so you wonder, okay, I don't want to mess things up this time. So you have to be very cautious and careful and methodic and have a strategy in how you're going to move in this season. Because when the past won't let you go, see, we can't move past and enjoy the new leadership that's getting ready to happen next week because our past president is still going to be lurking around. It's like a scab or internal pain. You don't get over a thing until you really get over it. It's like, oh, I'm over it. I'm over it. When you really over it, you really over it. Not I'm saying I'm over it. See, there's a feeling that you get when you're really over something. When you're really over something, you can look at a situation and know the difference between a hero versus the villain. You'll know the difference between should I invest my time in this or should I not invest my time in this, because this is pulling me into my past and I don't want to go back there. This is making me feel like a feeling that I had in times past and I don't want to feel like that again. See, what you have to understand is that in this season, we got to be patient. In this season, we can't panic. In this season, we got to prepare, meaning train. Whatever that training looks like to you, if you want to be a better speaker, a better business owner, a better mother, a better father, a better spouse, a better business owner, a better financial, better over your finances. You want to get better at a certain area in your life and in a field in your life. Right now is the time to do it. I wouldn't invest in another pair of shoes, another pair of nothing, if my life does not reflect where I'm trying to go. See, I can't connect with people who are stuck in a phase that we've grown out of. See, if you are still stuck in an area and a time frame that you should have matured from, then I can't connect with you. And you have to be careful where people will try to work on you and hold you hostage to things. And it's like, nah, let me go. Because I let that person go during that time. Whoever she was, you may still remember her there, but you stay there since you still stuck there. Because I'm about to go over here, okay, where the newness is. See, it's easy to not understand how much you've grown. It's like a person who deals with gardening and agriculture. You get out there and you're digging and you're going through all of this tumultuous hard work and you putting in all this work and all this effort and you digging and you toiling the ground and you putting in the seeds and you get out there and you water it when you don't feel like it and you got to get out there and talk to the plants like you don't want to and then you like, oh, I'm doing all this for nothing. And just like times past, this ain't gonna work out for me. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing little sprouts, little growth. I love planting and gardening because it shows you what you can actually accomplish when you put in the work. In your marriage, put in the work. Being a good parent, you got to put in the work. Being a good business, a woman or man, you got to put in the work. Being a good employee, employer, you got to put in the work. Being a better woman, a better man for yourself, you got to put in some work. I had to put in some work to invest in me. This person that I'm emerging, that I saw and dreamed about, that I'm becoming, she just didn't get here just off her own merit. There were some things that I had to let go of in order for me to rise. In order for me to rise like yeast, like dough. And when you have the right ingredients in that dough, and you need that dough because you're getting ready to make something out that dough, but you can't make it until that dough rises. And see, there are things in your life that God is still taking out, putting in, mixing up, and you are going to rise like yeast. And it gets to a point when you rise like that yeast, then God can work with you. He can maneuver things for you. And no, it ain't gonna be peachy cream. No, it ain't gonna be perfect. That's not what we're here for. We serve a perfect God, but we're in an imperfect world, which means there are imperfect people in an imperfect world, which means 9 times out of 10, A lot of your situations are not going to be perfect. You're going to have some situations that are not always going to be the way you want them to be. So when things come up and creep up on you in times past, don't let those things hold you hostage. Don't let those things from your past, whether they be someone else's doing or your own doing, for situations that you have overcome. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, follow me on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. And listen, I'll see you next week. Peace.